I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skortis. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what, I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And we are having an incredible sale today. The entire store is an additional 20% off. We are coming off of the Utah Valley Parade of Homes, and there's some incredible brand new stuff that just came out of these homes that's now in our showrooms. It's all been marked down. Some killer deals. Bring your trucks and trailers. Come check it out. It's a beautiful day today. Today, we're also diving into the hottest headlines in Utah real estate. We love doing this real estate show because in Utah, it seems like it's always good news when we talk about real estate, not only in the residential, but also in the commercial segment. Joining me today is Craig Whiting. He is the founder and broker of Prime Real Estate Experts and one of the sharpest minds in the Utah industry. We're going to be talking about market momentum and shifting trends, and we're really going to be unpacking what's going on here in Utah. Craig, welcome to the show.
Heather and Jeff, thank you so much for having me on.
You are a regular, and it's always fun to have you on because I always learn something new every single time. But before we get into that, I just want you to introduce yourself. Tell us about your background and how you became involved in this industry.
So, it started about 20 years ago. I graduated from BYU with a business management degree. The 9/11 tragedy had just happened. The job market was not great, but interest rates were falling. I first got in as a loan officer, and that was great. Did that for a few years, got a real estate license after that, thinking I was just going to use it for my own needs, my own investing. Turned out I loved it, and that was in 2007. Then I got a master's degree in real estate development from the University of Utah. And then I graduated in 2013, opened up my own real estate brokerage, and have grown ever since. We've got over 90 agents. We're statewide. We're on pretty much every board throughout the state. We service both residential and commercial needs as well.
You're killing it. I'm so proud of you. And it's fun to see you and all your agents out there. You're just all over the market. Let's talk a little bit about home prices in Utah. That's always a hot topic. What are you seeing right now?
It's interesting because spring and summer generally are favorable to the seller. And this has been the first spring and summer where it hasn't really followed that trend for maybe 10 years and for sure since the Great Recession. So it's sort of by location. Some areas are still doing really well for sellers, but there are some areas that are soft for sellers right now and actually are much more favorable to buyers.
What does soft look like out in the marketplace?
So for spring and summer, soft means that you're not getting multiple offers and you're not selling in the opening weekend or 2 weekends usually. And it may be a 30 to 60 day and even longer marketing time. Whereas in most selling seasons for spring and summer, 1 or 2 weekends, you're usually getting your home sold at the price you're looking for. So right now, there's a lot of inventory choice, about 32% more inventory on the market now than at this time last year. So buyers have more choices, and it's a little bit more difficult for sellers to surface to the top.
What happened to the whole thing where people aren't putting their houses on the market because when they go to get something else, the mortgage rates are so much higher? Houses have hit the market?
Yes, yeah. In fact, plenty of them are on the market right now. And it could be a factor of fatigue with people waiting for rates to drop and having a necessity to move and just can't wait any longer. Homes are on the market, but I'll tell you another really big contributor to the supply right now, it is new construction. And I don't have the exact number in front of me, but it's somewhere between 25%, maybe 30% of what's on the market is new construction right now. So the builders are really aiding to that supply that we're seeing. And areas where there's a lot of building happening, it's much more difficult for sellers of existing homes to cut through that clutter to find a buyer.
Now, in my area, it's like every crevice is being developed at this point. If there's land where a cow put a hoof once, it's gone.
Yeah.
It really feels that way.
Yeah.
Well, and land is scarce, right? They're not making it anymore. So it is what it is. We are landlocked. We have the lake, we have the mountains, and it's really just the Wasatch Front. I will say for Utah Valley Parade of Homes, there were 2 of the homes that we specifically were involved with. They were spec homes, and they were for, $2, $3, $4 million. And 2 of those sold full price, my understanding, purchased the furniture. I mean, these builders and their spec homes, like you were just talking about, they're making money. People are wanting brand new homes. And when you're competing against an existing home that needs some updating and some remodeling, I mean, it's a no-brainer to buy the new home.
Yeah. Builders have a lot of advantage right now, and they're cutting into what their traditional profits otherwise would be in order to provide significant incentives to buyers, buying down interest rates to low levels, finishing basements when they otherwise wouldn't do stuff like that, adding upgrades that they normally wouldn't. And so builders do have an advantage. And to your point on the multi-million-dollar price range, some price ranges continue to thrive. And in fact, I'm in a multiple offer negotiation situation right now on a property priced over $2 million. And I put a multi-million-dollar property on the market the other day that I got under contract just within a handful of days. So, when we say soft, it is situational. It's by neighborhood. It's by price range as well.
I 100% agree. What about multifamily and townhome projects? Are they gaining traction?
So that's a product type that will always have a need for sure, just given the number of we have a young population. So given the number of younger buyers, that tends to be a good product type for young buyers. And so townhomes and condos are doing well. That being said, we just had some numbers come out that we've had a year-over-year price decline, a slight price decline in that sector. And that's the first price decline that I've seen come through since pretty much the Great Recession as well. Again, showing a little bit of softness. And it's not necessarily due to, maybe perhaps a little bit lack of demand, but it's more so the affordability issues that we're experiencing, and also builders coming to the market with a significant supply of condos and townhomes.
Question I've always wanted to ask. $600,000 house.
Yeah.
$600,000 condo. Is one worth more?
So it all depends on the location of where that condo is and where that...
Let's say next door to each other. I'm just trying to get... You have to buy a house. Don't get a condo. I've heard that over the years.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So generally speaking, homes are going to be worth more because they've got the land that's associated with it, whereas the condo doesn't enjoy that same factor. But again, it's going to depend on upgrades and square footage and a number of those different things. But if it's apples to apples, it's a condo, same square footage right next to a home, same square footage, same year built, same finishes, the home definitely will be worth more.
Okay, it'll appreciate more.
And it should, yeah, absolutely. If it's right there next to it and it's similar, over time it should, yeah.
Well, and you're going to have those condo fees, those HOA fees, and all those other additional costs that are related to condos. And you're really at the mercy of your neighbors too, and what they sell for. Where a home, you can do upgrades and hopefully give yourself a little, cutting edge or some sweat equity to improve your value. And I think it goes back to that. We all want the American dream of the house without the neighbors attached. We don't want to smell what our neighbors are cooking for dinner.
Right.
We don't want to hear the kids jumping on top of our ceiling and those kinds of things. So I would always advocate for a single family home if you can.
I totally agree. But I will say, Jeff, there have been moments as I've analyzed the market from year to year. Sometimes a condo and townhome, that sector will appreciate a little faster than homes. And there are some years where homes do appreciate faster. I mean, so it's not like a given set rule year to year. But that is a really good question. Generally speaking, though, I would for sure go for the home.
I agree. Okay, what about some of the biggest new developments happening right now across the Wasatch Front? There's some cool projects coming in.
There are, a number of great projects. One of those is the Point redevelopment that's happening with the state prison relocation in the south part of Salt Lake County, which is going to be huge over the next several years. And I would think that's probably one of the biggest ones that will change the landscape of what's going on in the Wasatch Front. And that's going to be a mixture of some employment opportunities, high density opportunities, some open space opportunities. I mean, there will be a lot of really fabulous development that goes in there. But we're seeing, residential projects that are of significant nature. For instance, even down in Salem, some amazing golf course communities down there. Eagle Mountain has a rival to what Daybreak is like. It's called Firefly, and it's going to have some similar types of elements that would be, very, very unique to Eagle Mountain, but very significant as well and change the landscape there. And so and then you have Utah City coming in down in the Vineyard area. I mean, there's a lot of really amazing development that's coming to help supply the demand that's here because of how fast our population is growing.
Today, our guest is Craig Whiting. He is the broker and founder of Prime Real Estate Experts. Craig, how do people find you?
So you can catch me at primerealestateexperts.com, or you can go to craigwhiting.com. Those are the fastest. You can always Google my name. You'll find it. You can also call me or text me anytime, 801-879-4642.
Stay tuned. We have great insights from Craig Whiting. We're talking about housing affordability, first-time home buyers, and creative ways Utahns are navigating this tough market. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of the Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores. We'll be right back.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. We're glad you're listening. I'm Jeff Caplan, along with Heather Osmond from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And we are having a great day at Osmond Designs. If you are anywhere near the Lehigh or the Orem cities, please stop in to Osmond Designs and say hello. We have incredible merchandise in stock right now, the best of the best in the furniture industry. And we have an interior design special running right now. It's $99 for a 1-hour appointment. So please come in. We'd love to help you make your home look as beautiful as possible and have you love your home. Today, we have Craig Whiting. He is our guest. He's a usual on the show, and we're happy to have him. This segment is all about affordability and what's being done to help Utah families get into homes and how buyers are adjusting to higher monthly payments. Craig, you're the expert in this. Not only do you do high-end homes, but you also do first-time home buyers.
Absolutely.
What's your best advice for these first-time home buyers?
So the biggest challenge, obviously, that first-time home buyers have right now is the payment affordability and also coming up with their own down payment. And I've got a great solution for this. Rocky Mountain Homes Fund. You can find that entity at rmhf.net. Now, Rocky Mountain Homes Fund is a private organization that helps individuals going through an affordability issue when it comes to buying a home. If you apply to their website, and if you're admitted, you are then paired up with one of an agent on my team who will go around, show you homes. You pick the home. Then the home fund comes in and actually buys it, puts you in the home, and gives you a below market monthly payment that's substantially below market, and it gives you a pathway to ownership. Now, the home fund is what's on title, but you have the right to be able to purchase that from the home fund, and you have the below market monthly payments each month. And then you also experience some of that going toward your principal, as it were, and then you also gain some appreciation over time that you can then use as your down payment when you acquire it from the home fund.
So it's better than rent with an option to buy.
Absolutely better, because the rent from the option to buy really benefits the seller in that regard, because they usually give you an above market monthly payment instead of a well below market monthly payment. And you're not really accruing equity in the home at the speed you would as if you were with the home fund.
Do you negotiate your own price on the home?
So, yeah, it's a great question. So an applicant will apply to Rocky Mountain Homes Fund. They go around and see homes with my agent. The participant picks the home and then comes to me. I do the negotiations and help with the contracts and make sure that you're buying the home at a price that's excellent. And then Rocky Mountain comes in and buys it.
Unbelievable. That's such a cool program. Do you see more creative financing strategies being used more often right now than in years previously?
Absolutely. Seller financing is becoming a little bit more common as well. And lease options to buy, like a rent-to-own type of situation.
Okay, why does the seller want to finance the home? What's the advantage? It feels like a gigantic headache.
It can be, so it doesn't work for every seller, but you basically can turn yourself into a money lender, and you're just getting interest on the home. So if you don't need the equity in the home immediately, it makes sense actually just to sell it on seller financing. So a seller finance note then goes on title. The buyer of the home is now paying you as the mortgage company, and you're just collecting interest. And depending on the length of that seller finance note, you could earn tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how long that note is for. Like one of my clients years ago did this and earned about $125,000 in interest over a period of a few years. So it made sense for that person. He didn't need the equity from his home right away.
Does it make more sense to rent your home out to someone?
So, if you, I guess it depends on your strategy. So if you turn it into a rental, then, you are subject a little bit to the ups and downs of the market. Now we're in a market where generally prices go up over time, but you don't get a big down payment. So on seller financing, typically the buyer's going to come in with still some kind of form of down payment. So if you're wanting some equity from the home, you won't get that from a renter. But yeah, I mean, those are things we analyze, because renting it out may be the right answer, or selling it on seller financing may be the right answer, or selling it just traditionally can be the right answer. And each person's situation is a little different.
Well, and with these interest rates, where oftentimes a lot of these homeowners received a 2 or a 3 or a 4% interest rate, and then they're selling it at an 8 or a 9. Maybe someone has bad credit, but they have a large down payment. So you can cash out $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 up front and then not have the headache of worrying about that house. You're getting what's called mailbox money, is what I love to call it. And that check just comes in and you're making, whatever the difference is right there. So there are advantages for sure. And people are doing it. They're also doing lease options. Yeah. Or like you said, when you sell your home, there are some tax consequences of that. And maybe they want to defer that for 5 years or for 10 years and then have a large balloon refinance and get paid at that time.
Yes, absolutely.
So the two of you are 10 steps ahead of me. I have so many questions here. Hang on just a moment. If you're going to do seller financing on a house, what happens if the dude stops paying you for the house he's in?
So this is the critical aspect of seller financing. The seller can still foreclose, just like a traditional lender, but you need to make sure that the down payment is large enough from the buyer that they're going to want to stick around, make the payment, and not ditch it out on it. So if I sold a home on seller financing and only got a $10,000 down payment and the buyer stops paying, I'm going to lose big time on the loss of money on a monthly basis, plus on the cost to foreclose. And so a buyer really needs to bring a larger down payment before I advise my seller to go with a seller financing type of a scenario.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So many fascinating things. Okay, we are listening to Craig Whiting. How do people find you? Experience matters, Craig, and you are right up there with the best of the best in Utah.
Yeah, just Google my name, Craig Whiting, at real estate. You're going to find it. CraigWhiting.com is another place.
Excellent. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of the Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores, here with Jeff Caplan and KSL. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thanks for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And today we are having an incredible sale at both of our locations. We have the best of the best in all furnishings for all of Utah in all the styles. Recently, we are coming off the Utah Valley Parade of Homes, where we were able to showcase gorgeous homes and gorgeous furnishings. And some of those furnishings came back to our stores and they're now marked down. And a lot of them are one of a kinds. And so you do want to bring your truck and trailer. We have over 45,000 square feet of in-stock merchandise between our two stores and our warehouse that you can take home today. And then, of course, we also offer special orders. So you can customize whatever you would like as well. If you're just joining us, today we have Craig Whiting. He is the founder and broker of Prime Real Estate Experts. We were just talking about this creative loan program that most people don't know about. Craig, will you give us a quick recap on that again?
Yeah, so it's called Rocky Mountain Homes Fund. You can find them at rmhf.net. You apply to them if you're having an issue with affordability and you want to be able to own a home. They will provide a pathway to home ownership for you. You apply to them, and if you're accepted, you go shop with one of my agents, find a home. I help screen it. I negotiate the contracts, make sure you're buying it for the right price. The home fund actually comes in and buys it, puts you in with a contract that you're able to buy it from them. and they're giving you below market monthly payments during that period of time that you're in the home.
It's the American dream to own a home here in Utah. What are some of the guidelines, or what's the bar that these buyers have to hit?
Yeah, so you can't make too much money, but honestly, they still allow people with a low 6-digit income to come in and apply as well.
Really?
Yeah. And, you need to have a little bit of money in the bank. You don't have to have a ton, but, a few payments worth of money in the bank is going to be helpful. You need to basically demonstrate that you're going to be responsible with the money. So if you come in with tons and tons of credit card debt and tons of car loans, and you've made really poor choices up to that point, it may be harder to qualify because they're going to screen applicants out in that regard. But you don't need perfect credit. You don't need a huge down payment, and you don't need to make a ton of money, and you can shop anywhere in the state of Utah.
And so you get a home, at least you're in a home, you're paying a below market rate every month.
Yeah.
And at some point, you have the option to buy it?
Anytime you feel you're ready. Yeah, exactly.
Predetermined price?
No. So the price can go up as the market goes up, but there's actually a percentage of appreciation that's shared back with the participant. So they actually benefit even as the market goes up. They're going to get some of that back toward their down payment.
And where do you find this Rocky Mountain Home Fund?
Yeah, it's rmhf.net is where you would apply. You could also just reach out to my team and we'll get you connected that way.
Craig, experience matters. And I love that you are on the cutting edge of all of these loan home programs that, maybe a lot of other brokers don't have available to them. Yeah. So that all of these buyers who are sitting on the sidelines right now can get into the market. I think it's more important than ever. And these creative financing options, we're specifically talking about loans, but there are, accessory apartments and all sorts of other ways that you can have to help you afford your home. And you can use that rental income as part of your income to help you qualify, which is incredible.
Yeah, we do have buyers that are house hacking right now doing that very thing. I will make a note about the Homes Fund. I'm actually the exclusive broker for the Homes Fund. So the only way to get that program is through me.
Oh, wow.
It's only through my team. And part of that is we're contributing back to that fund, and we help them, and it's been a great relationship between the two of us, and we're grateful for the opportunity to serve them and serve those who apply through their program.
Have you put a lot of people in homes?
Yeah, dozens. Yeah, dozens of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so from time to time, and so a participant can be in the home, and even if, let's say, a few years go by and they don't want to buy the home, they can exit that. It's not like there's this big consequence, but there's sometimes even in that circumstance when they leave, they may even pick up some equity on the way out the door. And in fact, we've got a situation right now actually where the participant chose to not buy the home. They have just recently vacated, and we have that home on the market in Santa Quin right now. And again, the program is statewide, but this particular property is in Santa Quin, so it's going on the market to be sold. There would be an opportunity for some equity to go to that participant in the program. It's a home, like I said, it's in Santa Quin. It's $429,900, a little over 2,000 square feet. 4-bed, 3-bath, right across the street from some orchards. It's a really beautiful area. So that's on the market now if that interests anybody that's listening right now.
That's incredible. Okay, Craig, you always have cool listings. Tell us, give a little shout out about some of these other listings you have.
So let's talk about a horse property in Eagle Mountain that I've got for sale right now. So it's $949,900, but it's over a half acre. It's about 4,400 square feet, fully finished, built a handful of years ago, but it's got a beautiful 2-stall barn. It's got an outdoor riding arena. It's got arena lighting. It's got solar panels, and it's got a battery backup storage system, and it's got extra concrete pads for parking all your toys. It's got a 3-car garage. Beautiful home. That one's available right now.
Jeff, it has your name on it.
Yeah, really, except for the barn. You can keep that. Can we cut the price?
Well, it's got room for your dogs, though, right?
Okay, well, that's important.
Okay.
You could buy a lot of sports cars and put them in the barn,
No,
Jeff.
I'm impressed the way you just kind of riffed that off from memory. He's no notes.
Yeah. And so I got another one in Daybreak. If Daybreak's more your style, some people avoid Daybreak because of the lot size, but I've got one that's got for Daybreak, a large lot, 0.17 acre, and a 3-car garage. Hard to find that combo. Recent build, and that's priced at $815,000, and that's over 4,000 square feet, fully finished. So that was an excellent opportunity. And then I've got a home in Saratoga Springs. If you're looking for something in a cul-de-sac, 6-bed home, it's priced at $565,500, and 6 bedrooms on a cul-de-sac, and it's got a good sized lot too. It's centralized area of Saratoga Springs where it's very convenient to all the shopping, and that price is excellent for anybody that may be interested in that one as well.
And there's a Costco in that area. I'm just saying.
Minutes away.
Minutes away, and all the good restaurants. I recently was out there and was just blown away. It hasn't even been maybe a couple of months since I've been out to Saratoga Springs, and all the commercial development is coming out there. So oftentimes you say, well, that just seems kind of far away. It's actually not.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah. No, it's super convenient, and it's minutes to fast transit and road systems. I-15 is just a handful of minutes away. You're 15, 20 minutes away from Silicon Slopes. And so it's a very convenient location.
Do you feel like the market is stable, or is there more volatility coming?
That's a really good question. And it will be answered on a sort of microeconomic scale. So it really is going to depend on your neighborhood, and it will depend on your price range.
So it doesn't depend on the president, the Fed chair, interest rates. It's local.
A lot of it's local, and part of that's because of the supply that builders are bringing on board. I will say, interest rates, as they come down, it will spur more demand, and there's much more opportunity for rates to go down at this point than up. And, we're hearing the Fed chairman saying, hey, it looks like the time's coming where we need to start reducing rates.
They were talking about September. So if they bring rates down, let's say a quarter point, is that going to make a huge difference in this real estate market?
So it's a little bit more complex answer, but so the rate, when the Fed reduces an interest rate, they're reducing short-term rates. So that's going to affect your credit cards. It's going to affect your equity lines of credit, things like that. It actually doesn't directly affect long-term rates, but there is sort of a tangential following. So as the short-term rates drop, long-term rates tend to also follow in suit. But to answer your question, Jeff, I think that for sure when the Fed starts to reduce rates in that regard, it's going to spur more demand in the market.
So as a designer, I work with a lot of out-of-state clients, and they come in, and oftentimes they say, your homes are so large and they're so affordable. And, being a homegrown Utah girl, people that live here don't mainly think that they're super affordable. They seem very expensive, and the prices just continue to increase.
Yeah.
But they really are a bargain.
Yeah. What's interesting? Utah, I read this just the other day. Utah has the largest median house size in the entire United States.
Really?
So, yeah, we have the biggest homes.
Is that because we count basements and the rest of the country doesn't?
So the rest of the country, they will also count basements. But I think to your point, a lot of places don't have basements. And so the fact that Utah has basements, it is easy to add that additional square footage.
Yeah, from what I've heard, there isn't a single basement in the state of Florida. Just because, what's underneath, it's just mush.
Right. Yeah. It is really interesting, helping buyers that relocate from other states like that, taking them into a basement for the very first time in their life.
Wait a minute, it has windows that.
Yeah, and I teach them, this is where you can set up a really cool movie theater, like really cool.
Put your kids here, yeah.
Yeah, but we go down to these basements and we see the mountains of food storage down there that also they're not used to. But
right.
Anyway, the uniqueness of the Utah market.
So we talk a lot about buyers and sellers, but what about all of our friends at KSL that are listening that love where they live, and maybe they're thinking of remodeling? In your opinion, Craig, where's a really great investment for your existing home?
I like put the money in the kitchen. That's really the showpiece of the home. Time once was where if you entered into the home and you saw the kitchen, buyers were mortified. And that's how it was for many years of my career. But then builders sort of started building this more open concept when you walked in and you could see the kitchen, and they started making the kitchen a grand feature in the home. And now it's totally desirable to walk in and the kitchen just be there and in a large congregating space. Put the money in the kitchen. I would, we have a lot of experience with this. There's places to not put the money. And for instance, finishing a basement, unless you're doing it on your own, sometimes finishing your basement's not going to get you the return that you think. There's certain landscaping things, and there's ways to spend money that you're not going to get money back necessarily, but the kitchen's a great spot to do that.
I agree 100%. And garages seem to be all the rage right now. If you have larger land, build more garage space, because we all just have stuff here in Utah. It just compiles. It just grows and grows.
I'll tell you the other trend, people building pickleball courts in their backyard.
Right?
Because there's a lot of lots you could actually fit the pickleball court. A lot of people are doing that right now.
No, from what I've heard, swimming pools are not a good idea if you're looking for return on investment.
You're absolutely correct. Definitely not a good return here in the state of Utah.
Which is disappointing to me, and it's why there's no pool in my backyard.
I'm just saying Utah is so cool. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores, here with Craig Whiting, prime real estate experts, and Jeff Caplan, KSL. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. Jeff, I always ask you this, and we talk about it, but investing in real estate, Jeff, we haven't talked you into doing it quite yet, but are you getting inspired?
Yeah, every week. You know what I do? Like after we finish up, I bust out the calculator on my phone, mortgage calculator, say, could I do this? And my concern is, you can argue with me if you want. I'm 66 years old, and is like time running out on getting involved in a long-term game?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's 2 votes no.
Yeah, no, I had a client that was about that age and bought a triplex in Provo, and he's loving it. So, yeah, you can still get into it now.
When's the best time to plant a tree, Jeff? Yesterday?
Okay, you make a point, but, you know, it's the limited time left. And I've heard stories that banks, when it comes to mortgages, are now saying, look how old you are, pal. And that's the unspoken part, and it's harder to get a mortgage?
No, they will. I mean, you have to disclose your age on the application, but they can't use that as a criteria in lending, in determining against you in lending. So,
so if your credit rating is all that,
yeah, and you're good,
you should be to the good.
Yeah, and even if you just cash flow that and make only a little bit of money, think, you're going to live longer than 20 years, right? And you're going to.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, there's a point that it gets paid off, and then it goes down to the next generation.
The kids.
Okay, let me just give a shout out. My mom owns 3 townhouse condos in the Vineyard area, and it is her retirement. Her money is there. She gets mailbox money. She is making a killing, and she's under market with her tenants. They'll probably be there for a long, long time. In fact, I believe one of the tenants has been there for almost 5 years, since it was brand new.
So I have to ask a personal question.
Yeah.
How long has she owned these properties?
So she actually purchased them brand new. So she sold some older townhomes in American Fork and then did a 1031, moved all the money to this brand new development. She'll probably stay with those for maybe another 5 years or so, and then sell those and, hopefully relocate to a newer development. And
she's going to call you and say, why are you talking about my business?
Why are you telling all my secrets here? But I'm telling you, as a real estate investor, I've made more money in real estate than I've ever made in selling furniture or doing interior design appointments. And someone like Craig Whiting with Prime Real Estate Experts will help you so that you can accomplish your dreams and your goals, because real estate in Utah is the way to go. And not only do I own residential, but I also own commercial. So if you're more of a savvy, real estate investor, commercial has just been absolutely incredible. Craig, you're the same.
I've got a mixture of both as well, commercial and residential. And I'll just say 90% of millionaires make it that way through real estate. And so it's really a critical component of anyone's investment portfolio.
For sure. I don't know a lot about stocks and bonds. I'm definitely heavy in real estate. I do this real estate show. My Osmond Design stores are in locations that I own the real estate, and it's been really, really positive. So if you ever have any questions, please call Craig Whiting. He's happy to help you with all of your real estate questions. We talk about Utah and what's going on here. There's a lot of brand new developments that we previously mentioned, specifically Bluffdale, the Point of the Mountain. It's incredible. It's actually called The Point. Yeah. We talked about Utah City, I believe it's called, and Vineyard.
Yeah.
Brand new developments. If you are in the market, if you're curious, call Craig and his team and see if you can get on the list to buy real estate in those locations, because everyone loves a new hot location, and the prices always seem to rise really quick.
Yeah, we're very happy to help.
And last but not least, I just want to give a shout out to Central Bank, who is the sponsor of this KSL Real Estate Show. If you need money, please contact Central Bank. Not only do they do investment properties, commercial and residential, but they also do new construction loans. They do HELOC loans for your existing homes, refinance loans, and they have a kids savings plan, which is absolutely incredible. They actually give money for kids that are getting good grades. Central Bank is such an incredible partner, not only of the real estate show, but also of the Parade of Homes and the entire state of Utah. They've been in business for over 130 years. So thank you very much, Central Bank. Craig, one last shout out to you. How do people find you?
Yeah, find me at craigwhiting.com or primerealestateexperts.com or just Google my name.
How about the Rocky Mountain Home Fund you were talking about?
RMHF.net.
Incredible. You are exclusive partner with them. Go get your loans. Go get a home. Go buy an investment property. Thank you so much for joining us today on the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll see you next week.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skordas. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what? I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.